Hi and welcome to Spiritual Link, the podcast. A podcast about how developing spiritual well-being can help you in your daily life and how that can enhance your confidence in who you are and what you are. The podcast is hosted by Ines and Tor. Ines is a development medium with over 30 years of experience in the field, and Thor has been her apprentice since 2013. On the podcast, we are going to cover a broad range of topics such as meditation, chakras, intuition, and crystals, only to mention a few. In this episode, we begin to share teachings about how everything in our experience is in fact color and sound. Have a listen and let us know what you think. You can support us by sharing the episode on your social media channels, subscribing to our podcast, and leaving a review. Remember, you can always find us on @spirituallinkco on Instagram.
Hello, Thor.
Hi Ines, how you been?
Hello. I'm fine. Yeah, really good. Really looking forward to today. Have you had a good week?
I had a great week, thank you. Yeah, no, I had a great week. Got lots of positive feedback on the meditation that we put out. You know, people found that scenery very interesting.
Good.
You know, people sort of are seeing their favorite beaches.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
feeling that boulder and feeling that positivity
Yeah.
permeating through them. So I think that's I think people like that imagery of a beach for some reason. I mean, I do
Yeah.
too. I also like the beach.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. And I think we agreed that we're going to talk a little bit about color.
yes, that is exactly what we agreed for today.
Yeah. And the reason I'm saying a little bit, and we can go on till the cows come home about color. So what I thought I would do is to start literally say from the beginning.
Yes, please.
Everything in our life is actually related to color, because color is, let us say, is the universal situation of communication. By saying that, merchandise, if it's not presented properly, will also not sell. The way we perceive our clothing also is color orientated. Everything we do, everything we say, everything we look at, eat, and so on is color orientated. That's why it's the universal form of communication, not just a matter of saying hi. It's far deeper than that. So what we're actually doing, we're talking about the physically inclined, the psychologically inclined, and also the spiritually inclined. So when we see color, it is possibly either physically, you see a beautiful flower, or we see it with a third eye, or we see it actually within our own mind as well. As well as, which we've vaguely touched on, also the color bands within the body of within the physical body, they're also related to colors as well. So we would be seeing those also within the body. Our life, our existence, or let me see, your very life, your very existence, your ability to be the physical being that you are, and the life force that is within you, maintains the spirit that is attached, is all the power of color. Everything is the power of color. Everything that you see is on a vibration. It's as though we are on a color wavelength, but continuously, all the time. So light is also color. Smell is color. Taste is color. Feel is color as well. So light has an enormous effect on the cellular interstructure of the body. If we take babies, for example, with jaundice, it's the blue light for say 12 to 24 hours changes the cellular pattern of the body and moves away any impurities that are caused by jaundice. So we would say, for instance, because we're also taking the scientific view, which say with a jaundice, which is also done in hospitals, as we were just saying. So we always have to be aware of the scientific area as well. So we could say, for instance, by speaking of color as we do, we are moving into quantum or particle areas of physics. But we can also keep that thought that it can also be spiritual. So we're moving on two wavelengths. One does not have to do away with the other. The two work together very, very well. So if we are saying, let us say another area, physical area, curing dyslexia, it depends, of course, on the type of dyslexia it is. But it is possible to retrain the mind through color vibration. The vibration of color can bring help to understand what the personality with dyslexia is reading, and to bring their mind back into more a normal pattern of thought. And that is done also through color as well. So what we're actually saying, from spiritual to looking at it physically, to the scientific viewpoint, color works with everything, whether we see it or not. But sometimes when we're able to see it, as we move into this spiritual concept, if we're seeing it and directing that a particular color, it can become more potent for the person that we are sending it to. Not only for the body, but also for the mind. Everything is of a color formation. The whole world is controlled by a color force. It is the wheel in which we all turn. In the major hospitals, the areas of our shopping malls, recreation centers, galleries, everything. It has been proven that there's a natural tendency for the body to imbibe color in order to strengthen the thought pattern and to bring upliftment through color decor. Fear can be alleviated by means of color, as it has a distinct effect on the mind. The way the mind works, the way the mind sees it, and the way the mind recognizes fear. So what we're trying to do with introducing ourselves to color is to be able to work, in order to bring forward a deeper understanding and consciousness of what is happening, what is happening, and for what reasons it is happening. Everything can be analyzed by color, and everything can be also answered by color. So we've gone from, as an example, a couple of little examples: hospitals, dyslexia, and so on and so forth, fear, and so on. But color can also be used to cleanse. By cleansing, I'm talking about to move away disturbing thoughts, to calm down anger. It means that certainly in the period of time the whole world is going through, if it is possible to let go of fear and uncertainty, would be a big bonus for our mind to be able to think clearly, to find and navigate a way out of what is happening around us. So by moving away disturbing thoughts and to calm down anger, we would, for example, use the color of blue. When we are too depressed or low, we would try the color of orange. Now, there are different shadings of orange. There are different shadings of blue as well. And then our mind, individual mind, would then choose which blue, which hue of blue suits us best, and which, let's say, area of orange would suit us best. There can also be an overdose of too much, of course, and there can also be an underdose as well. What we're talking about with the recognition of color, which we are trying to introduce, it is a psychic science. Color, as we said, is a vibration. Color brings sound. So if you see color, if you see a beautiful bit of material, let the color float through your mind, literally. Let it work over your mind, perhaps while you meditate, while you relax. And then you will find that the sound of that color will come to your mind as well. Now, these sounds coming to your mind, we're also talking a little bit about chakras. because it is the left side is the color vibrations, and that is where the sound would come into our mind as well as the Vulcan gland, where you can also feel sound. You can actually feel the sound that is coming to you. Sound and color are as one. Sound has a resonance, and color is still. So as we just said, color can be used to cleanse away disturbing thoughts and move away the anger, the feelings of insecurity that surround us. Now what we're able to do, we're able to put a color around the depressive thought. Now putting a color around it moves back to a couple of sentences ago when I said you can use the blue. Blue is calming, blue is wonderful, because everything that we think only originates from the mind, everything. And color and sound have a very strong chemistry that moves through the whole of the body. Deviating just a little, because we will also cover chakrams as well. But if we are very miserable, for example, in many cases, all of the chakrams are open. And as each color band, each chakram has a color, close them down. You may not even know about it. But the thing is not good just closing. If you close it, you're also sealing in depression. Surround the thought first. Surround the violet with that wonderful color, but a fresh, lively color, and then close it. See again any difficulties moving out of the third eye, so on and so forth. What we're trying to bring forward is the huge extent and the power of color and how we're able to use color in our own way on a regular daily basis, whether there's a pandemic going on or if it's free for all. Color is so very, very important. Color can also help the memory. Different sorts of colors move through certain parts of the mind or the brain. The brain system and the appearance of the brain is certainly different in everyone. It's exactly like the fingerprints, but it would also fall into a category. And we are all possibly talking, let's say, of the color of red. Color is life. The red color is life. It is vigorous. It is invigorating. As the red is also an important area for the brain, for the mind to generate enthusiasm. Motivation also comes from red. But then we can also go into the green. And the blue is also very powerful for memory. It's a form of revival. Those three colors, the red, the green, and the blue, revive the memory situation. Now, if we're looking at perhaps older people with a lack of memory or damaged memory brain tissues, again everything we're saying is very individual. However, in that area, it would have to be felt and seen by the healer or by the individual applying the color for that individual in order to resuscitate and try to revive a little bit of the memory that has been lost by that person. So what we were talking about, moving from the psychic side, moving from the scientific side, trying to incorporate and use both areas which are invaluable. We also obviously touched in on the colors of the chakrams. So as we had in the last meditation, opening the chakrams, feeling the color, revitalizing, reinstating the color that is necessary is so vitally important, as they are very specific. Chakrams are what they are, and they all have a different form of understanding, healing force within each of them. If you're able to feel the color, if you have a small piece of paper a red paper or any color paper, try to feel it in your hand. Try to begin to connect with the color, because those same colors that you're trying to feel are the colors perhaps as you open or close the chakrams that you need to imbibe in your whole body. If we take the southern hemisphere, if we take Italy and Greece, Portugal, they're very vivacious individuals. They have the most wonderful red, green, yellow, bright orange peppers. They have beautiful colors of flowers all over the place. They're full of life, they're full of zoom. And if we go further north, of course, to the cooler climes, of course, everything is quieter, because the main source at a certain time is also a little bit more bland looking, and so on. And that also reflects on our own personality. So we are able to evoke the feeling and the recognition of what is necessary on a chemistry level, on a food level for our own body, by understanding what each color actually represents in our own individual way. By recognizing the colors also, and if we look at the sense of healing, self-healing, if we move to ourselves, it is important that we're able to use and understand the color, knowing where it would and could affect the body. So if you have red, for example, it's the main power source, this color. It connects with the blood. It connects with all parts of the body as the blood goes through the whole of the body. The red moves predominantly throughout the body. Not only the color, but the blood, as I just said, which is red. That is why also the color of red, if we move down to the base chakra, the kundalini, is also red. It is the life force. In the same way as blood circulates the color throughout the body, every single part of the body, including the brain, has therefore access to the red and to the power of that color. Not only from the point of view of the blood, but it takes the color as well to reinforce the immune system. And that means, of course, that the blood, therefore, is the circuitry point for color, which stimulates, ignites, motivates. When we're talking about the sound of color as well, not to forget that our voice also has color. How we speak to another individual has a great effect on the individual, and that's also a color. Let's say it doesn't always have to be color healing, but just to give someone a good day. If I said, you did something wrong, the downside, you say, oh God, what is it that I did? You did something wrong. You think, oh yeah, God, all right, tell me what it is. The inflection of your voice is so important. And if we start paying attention on how we speak and how we say things to individuals, is very, very, very important as well. Because it can crush, as I just said, or it can uplift. If we notice the great orators of the past, they can uplift a nation. And they're the ones that could destroy a nation as well. So you can see just how much power each of us has just in the form of talk. But of course, we must never forget the power of being able to listen. Just one more point that I would like to bring forward, and that is that we must never draw away from the more professional help that can be given by our very capable doctors. What we're doing, we are amalgamating and using both the spiritual and the medical profession. Working together produces amazing results. Never to underestimate also the many benign therapies that there are, from color to acupuncture and so on, are still all color related. Everything is still, the predominant situation still comes down to color, regardless of how we say it. But if we are able to accept the color, to work with medicine as well, we're on a much stronger footing.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ines. That is really fascinating and so much food for thought. There's one thing which stood out to me, which is, well, there's two questions which I would like to ask, which I perhaps imagine that our listeners would like to know as well. It's like you mentioned. First question is around color bands. You sort of briefly mentioned color bands, and like every
Yes,
person has a color band, right? What does that?
yes.
Because we have like 7 chakras and so on and so forth.
Seven
So
color bands. Yeah,
so color
absolutely.
band, like what is, can you talk about that a bit more? Or like what do you mean
Well,
by that?
we're always in books. The chakrams are always depicted as swirling wheels of energy.
Yeah.
Well, they're not actually just swirling wheels of energy. They are the band. They are the color bands. Absolutely, the band from the kundalini or the base chakra, the spleen, the stomach, the heart, the chest and throat, the third eye, and then the crown chakra as well. Those are the color bands, and if and those by opening them, inserting the life force, such as it's the electrical force that we're opening. We open the red a teeny weeny bit, and by inserting that force, we make them glow. When you mention also the color bands, Thor, a lot of times there are so many different words that are used for exactly the same thing. So if we look at the color of the whole body, i.e. the chakrams, the bands, the electrical force is all part of what enters the body, let's say via a healer. If you're giving somebody, they're putting their hand on your sore tummy, ooh, wah, 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 wah. The colors combined is the white light, and that is the electrical force, and then it is broken down into the individual's colors, because this is where we are. The sun is our giver of life, literally. Too much sun, not a good idea. Too little sun, also very bad idea as well. So what we're able to do is to draw on that energy as well, and then split the levels. The rainbow around the world is also literally the aura. You're seeing what the world is short of as well. So it's also split from the rays of the particles of water droplets and the particles of sand that are silt that are in the atmosphere. Everything lights up color, and then the color will find its own level. Also, everything that we talk about, everything that we're suggesting is always experimental, meaning that not that it does not work, but meaning that everyone might have a different take on it, a different feeling for that color, a different form of recognition and understanding. Because color can mean so much to different minds and will always change with each individuals. Like we said, the fingerprints, and also it's exactly like our mind as well. So in order to understand the person you're trying to help, understanding yourself as well, where we should begin, we should start with ourselves. We're really super important. And then find what helps. Try it. See what happens. Long time ago, I was told to put water under. I drink a certain amount of, how many liters is it? 2 liters, Thor? 2
Yeah.
liters of water. I have a jug, 2 liters of water. I have my crystal in that, which we will discuss at another point, and it's on a particular color of crepe paper. Because if it gets dirty or splotches of water, I can just throw it and replace it. So that color is what I would like to see this week. Oh yes, I might want yellow. I might want green or something. And I put that underneath my jug of water. I put it on a ledge where it imbibes the sun with my little crystal, and all the ions of the sun are drawn into the water by the little crystal, and they're also drawn in from the, say, yellow paper underneath this little jug. I have a small plate so it doesn't damage anything, and then I have the color paper, then I have the jug full of water and with my little crystal inside, and then I have a glass from which I drink all day long. This colored water, if you'd like, it doesn't have a color, except for what's imbibed, will last you for 8 hours. If you're going out to work or to run or whatever, you can put it into your bottle, and then it will retain the color that you have elected to do for 8 hours. See how you feel about it. Just try it. It can't do any harm.
It can't do any harm.
Not at all, and it's also inexpensive.
Yeah, exactly. It's free. It's like free medicine almost.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have another question actually.
Yes.
With coronavirus happening and pandemics and so on and so forth, everybody's working from home.
Yes.
What is like, and I suppose still also even before like coronavirus pandemic, people still wanted creativity and focus. So like if they wanted to have a color in their space that, let's say, promotes creativity and focus, like what kind of color should they have? Like people will be working from their bedrooms or their
Hmm.
kitchens or so on and so forth. Like
Hmm.
what color should they have in like the periphery of their eye, if anything?
Well, it would be very helpful if it wasn't just bland surroundings. Don't get me wrong, I love gray. And bland, say, colors like that. However, that will be very much a cultural situation, how the body and what the body needs, because some parts of the world will need very vibrant colors, and positive yellows and pinks and reds and greens. So that will, or black and white. So it really, really depends. The best thing, if a person would to go online and get some colors offline, to get a whole swatch of colors and see what the person likes,
Great.
because that will be the indication of what you need at this time. And you might find that just by adding color, something inexpensive, a lot of the shops are open but they're not open, so we can't just go for something inexpensive into, say, a stationery shop or something like that. It's very difficult. But to squirrel around and just get bits of paper, it doesn't have to be anything expensive, but have that color. And if you're able to get a fun cushion or something, have something to stimulate happy color,
Mm,
fresh, something really fresh and uplifting.
mm. Thank
But
you.
go online and see what color takes your fancy. Actually, that's a really good point, Thor, because let's say you're in rented accommodations. First of all, you're very limited, but just possibly, well, I suppose we can still order things online.
Yeah.
It does not have to be expensive. Maybe a poster or something that you can put with tic tac on that can go off walls that aren't yours necessarily,
Yeah.
or just see some a funky little dish which you can have your nuts in, or your paper clips, anything like that. But
Mm, mm.
try to have some focal point of upliftment that your mind needs. Very good point, important point.
Yeah. Okay. So I suppose it's just up to the person to figure out for themselves, right? Really just sort of go on the
Yes,
internet and have a look around and see what they're
yes,
drawn to, basically. And then it
yes.
could also
Well,
be that they have a couple of different things which they move in and out depending on the day, basically. Just like with the
totally.
just like with the crepe water or like the colored water, you can change
Yeah,
out depending on
yeah.
what you feel like you need.
Absolutely. I think because this pandemic goes around the world, and we've seen pictures, let's say, of we go to China, we go to India, we go to the US, and so on. And the cultures, let's say in China, for example, huge amounts of red. They love the color red. I think it's a powerful color. It means to them it's also very positive, very lucky color. So they would probably, an individual would probably naturally have red
Mm.
in their surroundings anyway. And if we go to India, I mean, some of the amazing, or Africa, we saw some amazing colors that
Yeah.
people throw together and look just awesome. So they would not go, let's say, if we go to Sweden or Norway, if you look at the houses, they're very pale blue,
Yeah.
pale pink, and they're very calming and soothing, beautiful, but very different needs
Yeah.
of what we
Exactly.
surround ourselves with in, say, in Europe,
Yeah.
than these
Yeah.
other places. So depending on your on our ethnicity,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
It'll be right,
It'll be
and
right.
that's our individuality.
Great, amazing. Thank you for that response. I think for now that was the only two sort of
Yeah.
questions I had, but I think they were really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that, and I'm excited to see the kind of questions and comments that we get back
Yes.
from that.
Yes. Me too. As you said, with you, you also had some feedback from your meditation. I got some as well. So really good. I read some as well. So excellent.
Amazing. And I suppose
Yeah.
next time we will do. I think next time I will be doing a
Yeah.
guided meditation, won't I?
Yeah. That's a wonderful idea. Perfect.
So,
Absolutely perfect.
I think this
Woohoo!
will be the first time ever I will be guiding you through a meditation, I think, right?
Wonderful. No, no, no. I think we had it in our group, didn't we?
Oh,
And
yes,
everybody loved it.
that's
Loved it.
true.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Thank you.
I'm going to be the lounge lizard. Yes, yes.
Well, until next time, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Take care of yourself. Yeah, but have a good day. Have a
You
really
too.
good afternoon.
Thank you for listening to this episode on color and sound. If you have any questions, comments, or want us to explore a topic even deeper, please reach out on our Instagram account at spirituallinkco.